What's up, guys? How is it going? This is a video game review, my goodness. Video game review, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, somebody had to continue the Castlevania Bloodline. Alright, so we got Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, this started off as Kickstarter campaign, and then it went hugely funded, hella funded. And, yeah. We were waiting so long, and then there was that 8-bit spinoff known as Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. That came out. I didn't touch on it because I was waiting for Ritual of the Night way more. I want to get a hold of Ritual of the Night way more. I want to touch on Ritual of the Night. Then I'll think about touching on Curse of the Moon. But I might end up wanting to touch Curse of the Moon, considering how great Bloodstained Ritual of the Night really is. Now, you play as Miriam, a shard miner who awakens after a really long sleep due to circumstances, and now as soon as she wakes up, all of a sudden there's a castle coming out of nowhere, and it's summoning demons from left and right, and it turns out that allegedly a friend of hers, or a colleague, happens to be Jeeble, who is allegedly behind this. Allegedly behind this. Alright, I'm parading that word around, but anyway, I don't want to spill too much. But however, the story does get very intriguing from there, and you do get a good... It does come out familiar to some people. I mean, it does kind of become familiar to me. But however, the story still becomes very intriguing, and the lore about the shard binders, the alchemy, and all that crazy stuff is very interesting to delve into, and it's really great. And however, the voice acting remains decent, even though you do end up with a few little villager tones, but hey, we have developed, but the default villager voices are pretty good, and the voice acting from the main characters are really good. And yeah, the sound effects of the game, oh man, it gives you everything, it gives you this wonderful feeling. Oh man, this is new life breathed. This is great. I mean, this is the continuation of the Castlevania series, and yeah, it's a spiritual successor, so anything that reminds you of Castlevania is going to be basically here in terms of the sound. And of course, the voice acting may be less cheesy compared to a certain title in the Castlevania series, but hey, sound design is great. There is nothing bad. I mean, it was fitting. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the voice acting. There was nothing wrong with the sound effects. And god dang, I'll cut myself off before I jump in there. I'll cover in the good. Let's talk about the gameplay. Anyway, the gameplay of Ritual of the Night is basically a Metroidvania, which is a spiritual successor of the Metroidvania that started all Metroidvanias. Okay, so how that works. You basically walk around, whack things from left and right, gain EXP, level yourself up, grab better swords, better weapons, better stuff, better armor, better stuff, and equip yourself and become stronger and stronger, become well equipped to take on boss fights from left and right, and etc, etc, etc. Of course, basically a Metroidvania that gives you the platformer and RPG elements combined. Okay, so yeah, if you have played Symphony of the Night before, or any other Castlevania game past Symphony of the Night, you will understand what's up. Okay, so there's new things that are added to it. Now there are side quests, tons of side quests for you to do. There's a couple of side quest lines that really kind of get you into the crafting system. More on that later. But however, the hunting and elimination, the assassination quest lines are entertaining when you have that "kill those murderers dead!" And boy, it doesn't really get old. But hey, it still retains the cheesiness, but however, it is less cheesy compared to previous Castlevania games. Yeah. Anyway, so you do have the crafting system, which is very great. You have all these possibilities from left and right. You collect all these recipes from left and right. You figure out the recommended items. You go in the castle, gather all the resources, and then you craft things from left and right. It becomes really, really addicting, as a matter of fact. When it comes to the crafting system, you can craft yourself some weapons, armor, etc. And you also can craft yourself some food By the way, the food system is pretty much, yeah, not only does eating food recover your health, depending on what you eat, but however, you do get stat points increase. So, yeah, bonuses happen when it comes to every food dish you consume, and they vary. So, whatever you heal up, whatever bonus stats you get depends on the food that Miriam eats. So that's pretty good. Also, you do have the village, which acts as a hub, which you can do your crafting. You can also do your shopping and buy your potions and etc. So, you have that going down. And of course, you do have the mirror teleporting system, obviously, and you do have your save stations, of course. Alright. So, basically, how does, I mean, yeah, the crafting system is hugely addicting. Very addicting, as heck. Alright, now, anything else I can touch on? Ooh, but you have yourself the shards system, where, because Miriam's a shard binder, she can pretty much collect the shards of enemies. So, when enemies drop a shard, when dead, it'll fly towards Miriam, and it will pierce her out, and as a result, she will gain the ability of the related to the enemy. So, whatever abilities you get depend on the enemy you kill. So, keep in mind of that. And you do have the shards that rain from the passives and the directionals, and of course the quick little additional melee thing. I love the head flail where I got it upgraded, where I could just pretty much swing that flail also for hard to reach enemies and just add in extra damage to the boss when he's away from me in range. And also, I'm going to bring up an example. So you have Reflector Ray. So let's just say there's these mirrors sitting around here, and you want to teleport this one thing. You need that Reflector Ray. Yes, shards will act as key shards, okay? Okay, so you can just aim that down, and Miriam will fly and basically teleport her, well, beam herself across narrow passageways from left and right. And so yeah, you find that one narrow thing around here, through that narrow path. Okay, so you do have there's another key thing I want to bring up is the shortcuts. Oh boy. The shortcuts shards, man. You gotta love the shortcuts, and that leads to another feature that's actually excellent. You have equipment loadouts, which you can select from left and right, thanks to the shortcuts system. So if you want to move more underwater, you can switch to that little equipment shortcut that you got hidden right there. It's pretty good. Use that to your advantage. You're gonna love it. And yeah, there's key shards. So yeah, you're going to end up needing those key shards. And don't worry about selling them, because you're not going to be able to sell them. Never. Alright, so no accidents. Okay. So, when it comes to Bloodstained, Ritual of an... Oh. I caught myself. There is one shard. Do not sell that shard, because it gives you the ability to move underwater. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and... I forgot the name of it. Oh. Yeah, no, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, it allows you to maneuver underwater until you get that one shard later in. So, that I just gave you a hint right there. See? Hint. Anyway, the gameplay is great, fun, and addicting. Brilliant, and ever. I have a single gripe when it comes to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Everybody else seems to have these issues as well. It's a hugely identical issue. And it's not that really big of a deal. They're really more isolated cases. Really. And the problem here is that there are a few little hiccups. One example, you have the glitch where the bag still remains falling even though it's already falling to the ground, and you can't even pick up the item. You can't even pick up the item. What the heck? And then there's an issue like when you're swimming in you're having a hard time swinging your sword, because you can swing your sword when you're swimming. It's just that you hit that glitch where you can't even swing your sword at all. So you have to even have an enemy hit you, or not only that, but when it comes to that swimming glitch, you can't also jump off as well. I don't know what happened. You either have to get hit by an enemy, or you have to basically just teleport yourself back home with those little teleport home items. So yeah. But however, there are just isolated cases, more isolated than ever, so they're minor hiccups, so that's good. And they're not major or game-breaking at all. Also, I've came and ran into like a bug at the end of the game where I ended up defeating the final boss, and there was that sound bug that keeps going on. And it kept on going out irky. It was like, ugh, yikes. It's like, ugh. There are some minor glitches, but let's talk about the good, because there's a lot good about this game. I could go on. Now, I already mentioned the storyline being interesting, the voice acting still being good. I'm finding nothing wrong with the sound effects. They're good, so everything's good. The music of the game is fantastic, brilliantly orchestrated, worth listening to. My goodness, you would get addicted to these themes. I have had theme songs for levels stuck to my head, and they end up echoing every time I step away from the game. And my goodness, it's crazy. Okay. You also have yourself the tons of fun things to do when it comes to gameplay, and of course the PC version. I have it on PC. I played it on PC. And of course I haven't ran into any performance issues like frame rate drops, so it is good. No performance bugs whatsoever. Solid performance. And of course the revised designs looking fantastic. The revised design is really great. Heavily improved, as a matter of fact. Okay, and you also have the character designs being well made. The characters are well made, the enemies are well made, and yeah, you're gonna love it. And you also have the tons of things to do. I already talked about that. Plus, you do have the extra things you can do. There is basically post-game gameplay modes that can unlock after you beat the game. Found out about that. Also, there is the idea of free DLC coming. Yes, that's right. 13 free DLCs on their way. And included, I'll bring it up an example. If you have seen the launch trailer for this game, there is like a roguelike mode, which is going to be available later after the game. So when that roguelike mode gets patched in, I'm curious. I'm jumping in. There's going to be co-op coming in, and there's going to be a second playable character. And yeah, the DLC, the free DLC, man, it's crazy. But however, with the free DLC aside, you do have a lot of things to check out and find and discover from left and right as you explore the castle, and fun things to do. So yes, tons of things. You're going to love it. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, the very minute that game came out, I want to get the Nintendo Switch version now. I want to get the Nintendo Switch. I want to see how the Nintendo Switch version plays, because I want to play it on the go. I want to play it in the comfort of my own bed. I want to play it in my bedroom. I want to play it on a big screen. I want to play it everywhere. I mean, I can play it at home on my PC, and then I can pretty much on the go or on my bed, I could just play the Switch version. It's the fantasy. But hey, this gameplay is a fun gameplay, man. But anyway, I've already talked about the bed. Let's get to the overall, which we're already in the overall, my bad. But boy, oh boy, this game is fantastic, worth having in your library. A great, worthy thing, worthy of carrying the Castlevania bloodline. Man, I cannot wait for what Bloodstained as a franchise does. Because now we have Bloodstained, and boy oh boy, let's see the Bloodstained series continue on and on and on and on, because boy oh boy, I love these kinds of games. Just like I loved these kinds of games when it came to Castlevania. I wanted to go in there and collect as many of the DS Castlevania games. I have been going crazy. I've been craving for that itch, and boy oh boy, ever since. And this is coming from someone who has been a huge fan of Castlevania. I've ended up getting Castlevania Bloodlines, but we're talking about the Metroidvanias. I ended up playing Symphony of the Night on my PSP and PS3, and yeah, I couldn't get enough with Symphony of the Night. It's crazy. And then I wanted to jump in on the DS ones. There was the Game Boy Advance, the Circle of the Moon, and I got that double pack, which gives me the Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow. But enough about me in my history of Castlevania. But however, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night is worth your time. It is definitely worth your time. Not only that, but it's definitely worth having in your library. Especially when it comes to the future content that this game is getting. All free. 13 free DLCs, man. Free DLC. Insane. But boy oh boy, this game is worth getting, worth having in your library. Fantastic. I'm going crazy. I'm repeating myself. I sound like a broken record. My goodness, I am happy with this game. Anyway, let's give this an overall rating. 91% giving it an A-. So yes, A- with 91%. Very good. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review, and boy oh boy, I was having fun with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, man. Crazy. Anyway, that is all. I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Now I kind of want to get a hold of that Nintendo Switch version so I can play it on the go or on my bed. That'd be crazy.